Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. We've made it through 2021. We are now in 2022. Hi, my name is Ayodele Harrison, Senior Partner of Education, also under that umbrella, Director of BME's Talk, all with Community Build Ventures. I'm excited to be back with you again. It is the day of this recording. What is it? January 4th. So it is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022 is the date of this recording. So let's just get into it. I just give you the brief agenda. In just a moment, I'm going to give you, read an affirmation, go over our Brave Space building. I have a huge announcement. I've been priming this for a few months now, but I can now finally share that announcement with you all moving forward. But then also, like, I've been over the month of December just sharing, well, before December, but just really been thinking about and incubating around some new things. So I want to share with you a few things that have been on my mind that I've been thinking about, and you'll start to see content being developed, whether that's more videos, blogs, trainings that we're going to be doing around those particular things. And then I want to tell you about just the dates of things that are coming up and how you can stay connected with us. So I did not have I have the affirmation here. I actually, there is a community of Black men in education here that I connect with. We had happy hour together. We've bonded into various things. And so what I do is on a Monday, I share with them just an affirmation. And knowing that I have a whole list, I've done a research and, collected a list of affirmations and really just been trying to figure out what fits for the moment. And as we know, across the country, more specifically here in Atlanta and the state of Georgia, schools have opened virtually. So Atlanta Public Schools, Fulton County Schools, all those in Metro Atlanta have pretty much opened virtually, which is not what we planned at the end of before back in December. We were planning on coming back in full, but as we know, Omicron, aka Omarion, is rearing its ugly head, and quite honestly, we as humans need to be better stewards of this virus and disease, and so just it's spreading again. So schools have started closing, and so the other day, actually, it was just yesterday because yesterday is Monday. I sent them this affirmation, and this is one of the morning affirmations I sent to a group about 8 brothers who are mostly based here in Atlanta, but then one is also based in the DMV area. So it says, "My ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite. My ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite." And so I just really wanted to share that with them this week, knowing that, just literally that announcement that schools were going virtual, asynchronous, whatever combination that might be here in Georgia, hit educators very quickly and had to adjust. So just wanted to send them that encouragement and affirm myself in this particular process. So as you see, you might see a little sweat, and I'm like, hey, today, it's like 30 degrees outside here in Atlanta. So there's frost on the ground. It's cold. I went for a walk. I did my stretching, and I was like, you know what? Let's just get on and record the video. I was gonna put on a shirt, go shower, put on a shirt and tie, even cut my hair. But you know what? You guys are getting uncut Ayodele Harrison right now. So I just wanted to give you the energy that I was feeling, that I'm experiencing this particular morning. So Brave Space building. If you don't forget, if you're new to this, thank you for joining us. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe, also hit the notification button. Every month, I'll be releasing these around the first, usually by the 6th of every month, they're released. But you'll get the notification with that, so you can stay up to date on all things that are happening with CommunityBuild Ventures, with me, with the work in education. And so Brave Space, for those who might not be familiar, there's 3 things that are involved with it. Brave Space typically has 6 components, but in this space, I usually do 3, which is sharing a moment of gratitude. How are you feeling? And then just your intentions for the conversation that we're going to have today. So gratitude. There's a lot to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my health, to be in sound mind and body. I'm also grateful for love. the love that um, my stepmother, Mrs. Ruby Harrison, has for my father, Reverend Bolahan Harrison, who passed away in April 1, 2021. So just this past last year, a few months back. And I say that because they've been together for many years, and have loved each other. And Mrs. Ruby, developed. I have it here. Is it in here? Oh, you know what? I put it in the other room. But secretly, my dad was not secretly, but just he kept it to himself. Was writing basically about his life, about his own experience, just his own telling his own story. None of us knew. His wife, my mother-in-law didn't know. Excuse me. Yeah, my stepmom didn't know. All of the Miss Ruby didn't know. And she had found it, once she was going through stuff after he had passed, and collected a lot of photos, his writings, and all this other type of stuff. And what she did was she went ahead and put it all into she produced a booklet. I'm going to pause this real quick and I'll be right back because I'm going to show it to you. Hang on. And I'm back. Hey, that didn't take too long. Just had to run out. So this was it. So in loving memory of Reverend Bolahan Harrison, so this is my father, and like just a lot of his writings and pictures. And I had never seen this photo before. And there's a number of other photos in here, but this is my dad as a very, very young man. And what's so interesting is like now more than ever, I'm beginning to see my brother's face and my dad's face. And so just a lot of great photos, stories, messages. She compiled a heck of a lot of stuff that in here. So just grateful for the love that she had for my dad, right? And for sharing this with us. Like this is huge. This took a lot of work, and on the back, see, this work, that was this church, Christ Redeemer Church, based in the Seattle area, when it was open. And so just really grateful for this. I've really been hesitant to unpack this because there's a lot, like his history. There's, when he came to the US, just his story, the things that he loved, poetry that he liked. I'm going to dig into this over the coming weeks and just slowly digest it. But just grateful to have Mrs. Ruby, who loves my dad, loves him, and so just really grateful for that in this moment. How am I feeling? Well, warm, sweaty, because I just got done working out. But as you can see, joyful and excited about what's to come this year, some of the projects that we have that I'm going to share a little bit more about with you a little bit later, but just excited and thankful for this time and for what is going to happen in 2022. Things that are now birthing in that process. And then my intention today is to be as present as I am able, to share my thinking, to share my excitement, to keep you up to date on the things that are happening. So that's brave space for me. So that was my gratitude, feelings, intention. You can go ahead and pause, as I've always said before, and write down or say aloud or think your moment of gratitude, how you're feeling, and just your intentions for listening to this video. So I'll pause. All right, so welcome back. So glad you're able to do that. So, okay, now on to the big announcement. So I talked about it in December. I think I even talked about it in the November issue of this. I can finally now say it. CommunityBuild Ventures has been awarded $150,000 to exponentially expand the work of BME's Talk, specifically in that area of leadership development. And that grant has come through the New School Venture Funds. Yes, the New School Venture Funds. They have several grants opportunities, but this was under the teacher diversity grant. I'm alongside of, I think it's 20 other wonderful organizations that are doing work in the teacher diversity space. I had just so grateful to New School Ventures for the opportunity to be able to present and propose our work and have them acknowledge it and say, hey, we want to invest in it. So really excited. Also have to thank a number of people. Of course, Natasha Harrison, who's really been my wife. She's the president and CEO. Who's really been pushing me to really think bigger and bigger and bigger about BME's Talk and the opportunity. We were thinking about several other granting opportunities, and it just didn't, it didn't fit us, correctly. But the New School Ventures came on, and Natasha was like, "You got to go big." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, let's kind of, what does big look like?" And so I've been sitting with that. And so I think I applied back in August 2021, and it was a process all the way through November. We made the finalists, and then we had the final interview, and then we were awarded the $150,000 to do this work. Just so grateful to the CBV Cooperative, our team, Keisha, Allison, Neith, Sharon, Trakita. I might be forgetting the name, and please forgive me, but just the folks who, those five that I just named are beautiful, the intelligent and encouraging Black women who've been pushing me to really keep pushing to the edge and to my learning edge and pushing BME's Talk to that next level and seeing how to go big and better. And this is that next phase of that, to be able to expand that. I want to say a specific thank you to those who wrote recommendations, were references for me. So Ruby Sullivan with Annie E. Casey Foundation, Atlanta Civic Site was a reference. She's been supportive of our work at BME's Talk for a number of years now, but thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Dr. Nina Gilbert, who is the head of the Morehouse College Center for Educational Excellence. I hope I got that right. But Dr. Nina Gilbert, so since I moved down to Atlanta, we've been connecting when she was doing her exceptional visionary work with leading charter schools. And now she's, over the years have now moved to Morehouse College and really building out a program. But thank you so much. And also thank you to, who is it, man? Principal Lukman Abdul Rahman, who had also served as a reference. Lukman and I, we go back a few years with my work working within the Create Teacher Residency in Atlanta Public Schools, and also doing some of the work just this past summer with leading our Black Men in Education collaborative that we did. He was one of our designers and also facilitators in that, did that. But then also big shout out to, I forgot, there's two people that might have shared the New School Venture funding opportunity with me. And so I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm going to name you both. Kevin Simpson, who is the president of KDSL Global and a part of the leadership of beginning the ALOC, with the Association of International Educators of Color, Educational Leaders of Color. And his work, I think he had sent it to me as well. And he is, when we had the BME's Talk Advisory Board, he was on the advisory council and helping us develop that. So always just encouraging. He said, I think this might be for you. And then Robert Simmons III, who's formerly of My Brother's Keeper and some of the other work, and has done some work with Urban Teacher Residency and work at Michigan State and American University. Just a lot of great work in our community. I think he shared it with me as well. So anyway, so I'm not sure. It's one of those two brothers, two strong, beautiful, intelligent Black men, has shared it with me, but just want to say thank you. Thank you also to the Black men in education who have participated across since 2017 in all the things that we've done, whether it's the Twitter chat, the happy hour, the professional development experiences that we've led, in person, virtual, all those engaging. Just want to say thank you for that, because your response, your engagement is what pushed me to know that there is something bigger and better for us to continue to grow, expand to. We're going to still continue to do the things that we're doing now, the Twitter chat, the happy hour. We're just expanding exponentially the leadership development. I'll have more to share with you in the weeks to come, but just want to say thank you to all the Black men who've engaged, who've provided support, and also to all the other supporters, because we've had a lot of others who are not Black men in education support us as well. Retweet, they're liking, they're sharing, they're introducing. I'm getting emails all the time introducing me to brothers. They're inviting brothers to take place. They've actually invested in, we've had school leaders invested in their brothers to participate in many of the activities of BME's Talk, like our leadership lab. Just a lot of folks have really been able to contribute to this, and this is a group win. And like many of the other folks say, it's like when you get a win, it's just the next door to the next step. So we're going to celebrate, and we've been celebrating, but over since the really the inception of this concept that I have to expand our leadership development work, just really been thinking about what's the next level of the work, and just so excited. So this is 6 months in the making, right? And it's still being birthed and growing. And so we're just excited about what's going to explode on the scene in 2022. I know I'm being very vague with this. There's a lot. Let me just say that the focus under leadership development, there's going to be really two things. Well, this really goes into, where are my notes at? This really goes into what I've been thinking a lot about. And what I've been thinking a lot about is teacher leadership. How do you define it? What are some examples of it? What attracts men, Black men, to want to engage and take up teacher leadership? What are some reasons why Black men are hesitant? I've also been thinking about my relationship with teacher leadership. And I know over my 20 years of teaching, I've served as committee chair. I've been on diversity committees. I've served as a chair of department, tried to dabble into instructional coaching when I was in the classroom. But there was just, I'm beginning to realize in my research, there was something else that was at play that was a deterrent. And I think it was a barrier that I put up. And I've actually been spending the last 3 weeks or so really unpacking that from my experience, because I felt like, you might have seen my bio where I say, like, my 16th year of teaching, I was beginning to expand into instructional coaching. And I felt like the administration of the school that I was at the time was not nurturing my teacher leadership. And I'm beginning to understand where the nurturing I was seeking, or let me just say, what I was fearful of, what I was scared or hesitant or questioned my ability in, I now understand, which it was unnamed, but it was a feeling that I had. I didn't know how to really say it, or maybe I wasn't even brave enough to say it to myself. But in my most recent research, I'm thinking, oh, there are some other things that are in place. And so a lot of the work to expand our leadership development work within BME's Talk is around this vein, is around growing teacher leaders. What does that look like for us to build a community of Black men in education who are growing each other, pushing each other to become teacher leaders? And so, I've been reaching out, I've been posting a lot on social media, asking questions about, why do people go back and get advanced degrees? What does teacher leadership look like in various ways? How is, a teacher leader versus an administrator? What are those differences? What are the similarities that they had? So be on the lookout for that. So that's something I've been thinking, a lot about. And so a lot of the programming that is coming up is going to address this. I'm so excited that this, but more to come as we flesh it out. As you know, there's a lot of strategy. One of the things that I've been learning, that Natasha has been teaching, my team has been teaching me, is you got to have a strategy in place, right? So what's your strategy? What's your plan to be able to launch? How we're going to look at this 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And so we're still building our strategy, still coming up with our plan, but we're excited about what we're going to be able to share with you. Now, if you're seeing this in some place that's other than our monthly newsletter and you want to get the BME's Talk newsletter, please make sure there's a link below. You can go onto our website and actually sign up to receive our newsletter if you haven't seen this. But please make sure that you stay connected so that you get the up-to-date information on what's happening, what's going to be coming up in the months to come, Q1, Q2, Q3, something that we're really excited about. Also, you can always make sure that you're logging onto our website, bmestalk.com. Go ahead and check it out. We've revamped it. We're about, and just be honest with you, we're going to do a formal launch in a few weeks, but go ahead and visit it. See what you think. We're still putting some things in line. We're still under construction, but you know what? My friend Furlong Toussaint said it. And Allison has always been encouraging this. We got to learn in public. right? Not everything can be perfect. Not everything can be spotless the way we want. I'm a work in progress, and I'm going to show you all. I mean, shoot, that's why I'm dressed like this today. It's a work in progress, but I want you to see what's being developed and what's being built for you, Black men, and where everybody else can support Black men. There's going to that BMEstalk.com is going to be that funnel where that's at. So, teacher leadership. I'm going to take a cup of water, sip of water. So, teacher leadership is going to be a major thing that we're going to focus on, just more to come in the coming weeks. Some other things that I've been really thinking about the other day, just some topics that have been coming to mind where, as you all know, if you're not familiar, Antonio Brown, who is an NFL wide receiver, had an incident on the field the other day, and left the field, and now some things are happening in his career that are uncertain at this particular moment. But I was thinking about one of the terms that came to mind when I heard a commentator say is this idea of production versus tolerance, right? And in the sports world, or in any world, usually if you're producing and making a positive impact in a particular industry, and however that industry defines positive, there's a level of tolerance for naivety, for your mistakes, for your miscomings, for you maybe acting not in alignment with an organization's vision or direction for you. And so there's a balance between what you're producing and then how much we're able to tolerate, right? Or how much the organization is able to tolerate. Now, all of that is relative, and all of that is based on the lens of white dominant culture as we live in an oppressive society. Racism does exist, all those other types of things. So how we define production and tolerance are viewed through that lens, but I'm going to be exploring that a bit more. So look forward to more videos and blogs that I'm writing around that. The other thing that I've been thinking about, so I went to a bookstore, I was introduced to a new author, new to me, brother, I think it's Kiese Layman, who is a professor at University of Mississippi. He wrote this book, Heavy, an American memoir. So I was introduced to him by Elizabeth Hearn. Thank you so much for introducing it to me. I went out, I went online and started seeing some of his talks, and then immediately went out and got a book. Prolific author, African-American brother, all these other types of things. So I was looking on this book and reading, went to a bookstore, and well, one side note, bookstores are dope. Like the small independent ones. I mean, like I haven't been in a bookstore for years, and with this book, Heavy, I went on Layman's website, and he was like, go visit these bookstores that are there, and I actually went and bought books from Cherish. I think I'm saying this right. Cherish Books and More. That's here in Atlanta. It's based in Decatur, Georgia, which is a city that's adjacent to Atlanta. And went there and just had a great conversation. I mean, so many intelligent folks in the bookstore, but just so many books that are out there. I was really intentional about not going to Amazon to get books because I wanted to support local bookstores. But anyway, so in my exploration of Lamont and his work, got reintroduced to Brene Brown and some of her work, bought my wife a book. I wish I had that book here, that title, but it's basically stories from African-American authors, Black authors, about shame and resilience, and Brene Brown, who's done a lot in resilience, vulnerability, shame, along with many other people of color, researchers of color, along with many other of our ancestors who've done a lot of work around this. And so, but anyway, so I got back into diving into some of Brene Brown's work, and I saw a podcast, with Brene Brown. It was Tim Ferriss's podcast, and they were talking about these things. And the things that came up was this, which I've spent a lot of my time, at least a few years ago, thinking about this idea of self-serving it is complacency versus, oh my gosh, what is it? Let me just pause just for a moment. Okay, I found that I'm back. So it was so Tim and Brene were talking about self-striving versus self-acceptance, right? And so it's this idea of how do I continue to and push and want to improve, grind, make new gains for myself, but then also how do I balance self-acceptance, right? Like where is that? Because I think a lot of the narrative around self-actualization is like, you got to grind, you got to, excuse me, excuse me, you got to push yourself real hard. But then, the other narrative is I've been thinking a lot about self-care and how do I manage that, but is exercising self-care, is that allowing me to be more complacent with myself? And so, they had a conversation again. I got more content coming, in weeks and months to come, but self-striving versus self-acceptance. And in this piece, they started talking about that. And because I always thought, like, if you're not always trying to improve, is there room for you to be constantly seeking to improve yourself, but then also have a place of satisfaction with yourself? Because what I don't want to do, or what I'm cautious of is I want to motivate myself to get better, but not always lean it on a deficiency that I have, right? So for me, if it's managing my weight, this is why I love the book Heavy, with Brother Kisei, who's done this work. And it's just like, I've had these challenges with my weight, and a lot of my desire to manage my weight and work on those types of things is so that I'm not fat, but I am fat. And so there was a self-acceptance issue that I had. And then I was like, well, do I want to keep working out? Is the desire to work out being confused with me not accepting who I am, my body type, and so on and so forth? So anyway, so I'm going to be looking at self-striving versus self-acceptance versus self-care and self-compassion, how all that stuff, moves together with that. And so those are a few of the topics that we have, that I have, coming up with you. And I'm just about done here, but I thank you for sticking with me. But those are the things that we're going to be thinking about and writing about. I'm going to have a team around, so be looking out for all those publications. Again, all the blogs are being posted on the website, bmestalk.com. You just click on the blog link. I'll be posting some of them on LinkedIn too. Ayodele Harrison is where you can find me on LinkedIn. Just wanted to give you an update, just close with some dates that we have. So the Twitter chat, so today's January 4th, it's going to be back on Tuesday, January 11th. At 9 p.m. The Twitter chat is going to be there as well. And then every Tuesday, as we have going forward from there until the end of the end of May, that we'll have every Tuesday night will be that Twitter chat. Please make sure you plug in. It's open to all. Anybody and everybody can watch. We just ask that reserve the airwaves, the conversational airwaves on Twitter to the Black men that are there. Hashtag BME's Talk. You can find that there. Also, next Wednesday, January 12th, is going to be our first BME's Talk happy hour, virtual happy hour of the new year. So we're going to be there just affirming brothers. It was a very powerful session. I posted some things on LinkedIn about this. At the December happy hour, we had a young brother who just earned his teaching credential. He just graduated from University of Mississippi and is going to be starting into schools. So we had an aspiring teacher, like he's starting teaching this probably this week. And all up to brothers who've been in the field for 20 years, getting together, just really doing some trivia. James Price, Ahmad Queenan, and then Jeremy McCleary have been doing a lot of great work and planning that. It's their space that they've created, that they've been able to carve out to really drive the work of the happy hour. So excited about that. So again, that's January 12th. Now, last thing, Leadership Lab. Because of the new developments of the grant that we received that I said from the New School Venture Funds, and just really trying to set ourselves up for a really strong year, we've decided to postpone. We were planning on launching the third cohort of the BME's Talk Leadership Lab this February, but we realized like that would be pushing and real tight. And so what I want to say is we're going to announce how the Leadership Lab and some of the other things we're going to launch fits into our bigger scheme, our bigger strategy. And so the Leadership Lab is going to be back in September of 2022. That's where we're planning for right now. I'll have more dates, specific dates for you soon. But what I'd like you to do is, if you're please in the description, there's a link to our advanced notice list for BME's Talk, for the Leadership Lab. Please make sure you click on that link. Enter a few pieces of information, just your email and one or two other things that you can do. And that way we make sure you'll get advance notice. So as soon as it's set, we're going to send out an email. We're going to send out communications to those people on the list so that they have advance notice of doing that. We want you to make sure that you're getting an advance notice and staying on top of things. So please make sure you click on that link in the description and sign up for that. But again, what we're seeking to do is balance. So our leadership development work began with our BME's Talk live experiences that we had back in February 2020 when we started. Then we did the Leadership Lab. We launched that in February 2021, which is virtual. And we've been building on the Leadership Lab. We had 2 cohorts that we did. We're bringing it back along with an expansion of some other things we're going to be doing around leadership development. So we're excited. Just stay tuned with us with that. I'm looking at my poster here. I think that's all that's all I have, but let me just take a deep breath and a sip of water. Again, 2022 is going to be amazing. It takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of consistent discipline, a lot of strategy, execution, evaluation. So just really looking forward to growing with you. Please make sure that you stay connected with us on Twitter, Instagram. Also, we have the private Facebook group. You can find that, all those links in the description. Please make sure that if you're not getting our newsletter. Oh, and also understand this. So our BME's Talk newsletter goes out to everybody in my listserv. So it's not just to Black men in education. So please sign up so that you know what BME's Talk is doing, how you can be involved in all of the things that are happening, how you can support and lend your voice and get active in really supporting us, whether you're a Black man in education based here in Atlanta, across the country or around the globe, or you're someone who's a champion for Black men in education and want to continue to see them grow and thrive and invite other Black men into the profession. Please make sure that you continue to support us. On our website, bmestalk.com, you can click on the support link there. You can donate. No amount is too small. Hey, we're taking $1,000 donations, $10,000 donations in that space, or anything else that you feel like you can do to contribute to us as we continue to create these spaces. Because one of the biggest things is that not every school district, right? Not every Black male who's seeking a professional learning community can afford to be in some of the extended learning experiences that we have. And we'd like to try and provide scholarships with them to be able to attend either at low cost or no cost. Your contributions, your support allows us to be able to invite Black men who can benefit from financial support into our leadership development spaces that we have. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's been a wonderful time. I wish you all the best. Happy New Year to you. I wish you a wonderful school year, a wonderful 2022. Want you, COVID is still real. Please make sure you're taking the time to take care of yourself. Wear your mask when you're out, double up the mask, wash your hands, make sure that you're keeping social distance with one another, check in on your family members, check in on your loved ones, check in on it's crazy right now. And a lot of people are being, touched, and it just as this virus continues, it gets closer and closer to people. So continue to keep your loved ones close, continue to stay prayerful, stay hopeful, sending you lots of love and light, wishing you all the best in the coming weeks. I'll see you online, or I'll see you on the next video. I wish you well. Take care.